Coming up on Slinging Paint, IDW's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shadows of the Past. Hi, and welcome to the new and updated studio for Slinging Paint. I'm James, your host, the Paint Slinger, and today we're working on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles by IDW. It's their older one. Actually, if you go to the go to Kickstarter right now, you can actually see that they have a new one that's almost up. So act now, act fast. Get in there and get your turtle on. So what we're going to do here is we're actually painting some of the older turtles from the first game, Shadows of the Past. Yeah, Shadows of the Past. Oh, look at me, remember that. And we're going to do Raph. Number 1, he's my favorite turtle. Number 2, why the hell not? Okay. So we put him in the handy dandy Citadel paint handle. It just helps me move around and not ruin the paint. And now we're going to give him a nice base coat. Caliban green. It's a nice dark shade for the skin of the turtle. And after that, we'll decide if we're going to make him more brown, more green, what we're going to do with light, or going to do it dark. Now these guys here are the newer Nickelodeon IDW versions. So for those of us who are purists like myself, they're still color coded, not the red bandanas like we grew up with when we were kids. But you know what? That's okay. I'm getting used to it. I struggle with it, but I'm getting used to it. And I know they've been color coded for God knows how long now. I still don't like it. That's a good test of, how old are you? Well, I remember when the turtles were nothing but red. Haha, you were born in the 80s. Possibly even older. Especially if you're cognizant enough to know the turtles, like I was. And now with the new setup, you can, I guess you can't really see what I'm doing. So now you're just seeing my tummy and everything's up here. So if you kind of watch between the two cameras, I'll try and do better. Make sure that's right down here. And not so much up in my face. As you can see, now that after Christmas has come, I've been able to upgrade my studio. I see a lot of different miniature painting streamers and stuff out there. They do this. They have 2 cameras, or at least 2 cameras, so that you can see what's going on the workbench, as well as you can see them. So I figured, why not? Why should I buck the trend and just do my show from my cell phone? Let's make it better for everybody out there and get on board with what everybody else is doing. And I think that's working out real good. What do you guys think? There's rooms for comments and questions and whatever down below. So we do see them. We do read them. Try to respond to them. Sometimes we get to them, sometimes we don't, and For those of you who've written and have not gotten an answer by myself or by my editor, I'm sorry. We will endeavor to do better. Because even though this is fun and I have a blast painting the miniatures and it gets me, looking at cool stuff, it's really for you guys. So you guys know what you're getting into as far as miniatures go, and whether or not you want to go this distance and paint them, or if you just want to say, yeah, you know what, the turtles are green, the bad guys are gray, I'm good with that, and just leave them how they are out of the box. That's fine too. I'll tell you, being able to look at these things and review them, get my hands on them and look at them, and quite a treat. We've almost got the base coat finished on Raph for the green anyway. The turtles don't take terrible long to do. I mean, they can. It depends on how involved you want to get. And again, this is all up to you. You might just put some green on them and go, yep, good enough. They're turtles. They're green. You might put them in there. You might do them in a black and white. I've seen so many different variations of paint jobs for turtles that really the sky's the limit. I mean, other than they're still being green, and are you going to color code them? Are you going to make their bandanas all red like they were in the original black and white comics from Eastman and Laird and Mirage Comics? Are you going to go with the Archie versions, which is where the color coding started, because the kids needed to be able to tell the turtles apart? Really, it's up to you. Now, I was fortunate enough to get a set of extra turtles in the Eastman and Laird sculpts, so the old 1980s black and white sculpts. So I did them up traditionally, if you can really call it traditional. I was okay. So I painted them up with the red bandanas and a single color for the skin, I should say. So the new turtles, these guys right here, each one has a variant green color, so they're not the same green across the board, which you can do too if you want to. I mean, again, these are yours. You paint them however you see fit. If you want to paint them individually green color, that's fine. If you want to really take the time and paint them to look like they were in the 1990s live action movie, with all the little spots and stuff on their skin, don't let anybody stop you. Just do it. That's the one thing that this old slinger can't quite stress enough. The miniatures that you paint are your miniatures and nobody else's miniatures, unless you're doing commissions. Then that's a whole different beast unto itself. And we can get into that if people are interested in learning about that. But if you're doing these for yourself, this is your home game. If this is just your game that you're painting up for yourself, take as much time or as little time as you want. Paint them up however you want. Well, whatever you like. But on the actual turtles themselves, oh, knocked them over, but that's okay. And as always, shake up your paints a little bit. This is one of the best tests to make sure that your paints are still a viable paint, or do you have to run out to the hobby shop and get yourself a new paint. My Mornfang Brown is on its last legs, but hopefully it'll be enough to do Raph. Let's hope. I mean, I don't need a whole lot to do Raph right at the moment. And of course, the more you get into everything, the neater you're going to have to become. You can't be quite as messy. But here it's okay to be a little bit more messy, because I mean all you're doing is the shell and the leather, and you're doing kind of a shade on the shell, but that is pretty much going to be the color of the leather for his belts and so forth. And since he only has one belt, unlike Leo or Donnie, his will be easy to do because it'll be just one. It'll be just one pass. Whoosh, done. But if you do find that you get paint where it's not supposed to be, and that does happen, happens actually quite a lot, don't sweat it. All you have to do is go back and repaint the area. Let you put some of the wrong color on. That's okay. There we go. As you can already see, you know, the chest is starting to come out a little bit. Okay. And it's a beautiful, distinct difference between the shell and the leather. You know, to be you know, kind of honest, I actually want to go back and repaint my Eastman and Laird version of the turtles using the new color techniques that I've chosen to do in here. Because I think it would actually make them look really, make it pop just a little bit more. I mean, they're not bad. I like them. A lot of people like them. But you can always do better. You can always change things up. So one thing that's really good about miniature painting, if you don't like a color, paint over top. Or if you have the ability to, strip it down, reprime it, start over. And maybe we'll cover that in a different show. But for right now, we're just going to worry about getting some paint on these guys, getting them up to snuff, for at least, you know, a home board game, not necessarily a painting competition. Painting competition would take you days, maybe even longer than that, weeks. Because you're going to work on every individual part. I already pulled it up out of the frame again. Maybe I should just pop the camera up a little bit more. There you go. So if I pull it up, you can still kind of see on the bench, but if I pull it up, you can, you know, still see what I'm painting. And there we go. The Mornfang Brown part of the turtle is finished. Told you, it's not much. These guys are little. Okay. So as you can see, let's try and get my head on right there. As you can kind of see there, yeah, it's kind of fading in and out of focus again, but as you can see, the front of the turtle, so the back of the turtle, two distinctly different browns, and you know, it'll look like a nice oh, hey, there we go. It'll look like a nice leather. It looks like a nice leather color when it's all done. Now the front shell, we're going to lighten up a little bit. We're not going to make them, you know, it's not going to stay just quite as dark. But we'll figure that out next time. So until next time, remember out there, grab your paints and brushes, sling some paint, but paint safe, alright?